There is a Japanese powered supercar that's being sold at the moment that no one is talking about. Now, before I say anything, we've not really had a proper JDM supercar in a very long time. I mean, the only most recent one I can really think of is the Acura NSX, but that didn't really go down too well. Personally, I'm actually a big fan of the new NSX. I think it's a really nice car. Don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people say they're not like the original, but they're actually really good cars. They look quite nice in my opinion, and I think, you know, their performance is definitely there, but they are really expensive for what they are. And you know, and there was only 3,000 of them made, which is going to make them really rare cars in the future, but not really the JDM supercar we were looking for, especially with it being a hybrid. I think a lot of car enthusiasts would rather it be fully combustion. I think when it first came out though, the idea of something being hybrid was a bit more alien. I think now it would be, you know, a lot more accepted, but also their starting price was just way too expensive. Then of course you also have the legendary R35 GTR, which is sort of a supercar, but what I found so surprising, right, about the R35 GTR is it's been in production since 2009, meaning that it's been in production for 15 years now. I mean, we definitely need a change. What I will say about the R35 GTR though is it has stood the test of time. It kind of reminds me of GTA 5. It has been around for so long now, but it is almost perfect, and we're just waiting for GTA 6. Like we're waiting for the next GTR. However, the difference between the NSX and the R35 is, you know, the GTR has actually been really successful. I remember when every single YouTuber used to have an R35 GTR, and a GTR was almost featured on every single old school Top Gear. So I do think it's safe to say that the GTR R35 lived up to the hype, but it is just getting a bit old now. And Nissan have been hinting at a next GTR, and there's been a few concepts here and there, but nothing's really happened. And of course, another recent Japanese supercar is the Lexus LFA, which is a car that probably only 1% of the whole human population can actually afford. It's probably the best Japanese supercar ever made. I mean, it's probably one of the best supercars ever made in general, not just Japanese. I've only seen one in my entire life, like they're super rare cars, and it did sound insane. I saw one at Goodwood Festival of Speed a couple of years ago, and definitely one of the best sounding V10s in the world, but probably one of the best sounding engines in the world. And in my opinion, I think these cars look amazing, but definitely nowhere near affordable. So what can you get in terms of a Japanese powered supercar that is affordable and fun to drive and is also quite a good looking car? Well, I've sort of found an answer. I found a bit of a weird answer, and it might not be fully Japanese, but I genuinely think this is probably the next best thing to an old school NSX, and I am talking about the Lotus Emira. Before you run off to the comments, just want to quickly remind you guys, I mean Japanese powered supercar, okay? I know this isn't a fully Japanese car. However, what I will say is that they're powered by Toyota Camry V6s that have been supercharged to 400 horsepower, which basically makes these Japanese powered because it's a Toyota engine, and I genuinely do believe this is the closest thing you can get to a proper Japanese affordable supercar at this moment in time. The thing is, the main reason why we love Japanese cars is because they're reliable and they're reasonably cheap as well. You could easily argue it's not a supercar because its 0 to 60 is around 4 seconds, which isn't particularly fast these days, but in my opinion, I do think this does class as a supercar. Obviously, I'll leave that debate up to you guys in the comments, but at the end of the day, you're buying a Toyota powered supercharged V6, which is a mid-engine car that comes standard with a manual transmission, which is, I don't know what more there is to say. And I mean, they're already starting to drop in value too. You can buy some up for around 67 grand, which is really good value considering how new they are. And for literally half the price, you can buy a Lotus Evora, which is pretty much the same car, but it just comes with a naturally aspirated V6. The thing is though, I just don't understand why no one's talking about the Lotus Emira or even the Evora, not just in the JDM community, but also in the car community in general, especially the new Emira. I mean, it's such a beautiful car. It looks like a mini version of the Ferrari F8. It'll be interesting to know what everyone else thinks though in the comments. Do you think this car's slept on and underrated? I personally do. And if you did find some enjoyment in this video, please consider subscribing because it is free and you might as well. However, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.